Hey everyone, it is Steven Schleicher, and I want to thank you for downloading the latest episode of Critical Hit. Before we get started, though, if you are someone that has been sitting on the fence about joining our Patreon over at patreon.com/major spoilers, then check this out. During the month of April, that's going on right now, during the month of April, if you go over and sign up for an annual membership, doesn't matter which level that you want to do. Maybe you want to do a silver level membership so you can get new episodes of Critical Hit a week early. If you go and sign up for a yearly membership right now, you will get 16% off. That means instead of paying for a full year, you will only pay for 10 months, but still get 12 months of bonus content for free. That's quite the deal. So again, if you've been sitting on the fence and you want to support Major Spoilers and everything we do, including keeping Critical Hit going into the far, far future, then point your browser to patreon.com/major spoilers. Check out our yearly membership. Sign up in the month of April, save 16%. That's the equivalent of 2 months. Thank you so much for your consideration. Thank you so much for your support over the years. And now, here is the latest episode of Critical Hit. It's Drifters time. Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week. Kevin, for us, it's been a while since we've sat down at the table to play, but for our listeners, of course, they heard everything that happened last week. But I'm curious.
On Critical Hit.
I'm curious what's going on in this episode.
Last week.
On Critical Hit.
No, last week. That's not it. That's not
Sorry,
it at all.
you said last.
You said last. That's the trigger word. Everybody else knew that.
Previously, you guys had...
on X-Men. I call Beast.
You had made it to the bazaar, Baracus the Bootlegger's Boundless Bazaar, and there spoke with the witch-weird merchant Baracus and managed to secure access to the destroyed vehicle Curiosity from Team Elysium. And from there, you got a video and were able to also and watch the video of that crew's final moments. And you also were able to rescue the ship's computer, or the vehicle's computer, kind of the black box of information there. And that is where we had left off last time.
On Critical Hit.
Oh, that's where we were supposed to do it. Everybody with us. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You listen in the car. Say it with us. 1, 2, 3. On Critical Hit.
Go ahead.
Last time.
You can't say 1, 2, 3, everybody, hang on, let's do it.
Yeah, right? Just because you missed it.
Marmalade.
So one thing, I know we did some stuff regarding gear and equipment and shopping between games, but why don't we run through some of the items you've purchased at the bazaar? And while we're at it, could you give a quick updated character description? Because you guys have leveled a couple of times, you've gotten into and out of some scrapes and sticky situations, so maybe you have some different clothes or accoutrement than you did during the auditions. So why don't we start off with Hecubino?
Okay. Hecubino thought that he had enough money to purchase a freebooter armor, but apparently he doesn't. Because I misread how much it cost. So Hecubino continues to look the way that he did before, which is he's got a graphite skin armor.
Well, how much are you short? Because maybe we can spot you, considering Skritic is apparently flush.
I would need, so it's 4,720, and I've got 3,868.
So about 900.
So it's quite a bit. So
Well, how much is your current armor? You could sell that and get half price for it.
Oh, that's true.
Because that's how I was able to afford my upgrade.
That's true.
Same here.
So mine sells for 610.
So you'd only need 300 more,
Yeah.
give or take.
But I can't. If I buy this, I can't spot you the 200 that I was going to spot you. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll pay for Rob's armor, and I'll take an upgrade next time on critical hit.
On critical hit.
Sounds good. So, refresh our memory of Hecubino's appearance.
Yeah. So Hecubino is human. He is not terribly tall. He is lanky, and if you see him without his armor, he's like not buff, but he's in shape. He has his head shaven, bald, and has like some kind of big sticky out ears, and kind of like medium dark skin. His armor is a graphite skin, so it kind of it looks like a uniform, sort of like gray mesh that kind of knits itself into a helmet when he needs it. But on top of that, he wears purely aesthetic, sort of like green and white breastplate, as well as a pair of green and white gloves that kind of make him look like they look kind of like hockey gloves. And he's got a kind of a yellow plasticky looking pistol, which is clearly a like an electric taser type pistol, which he doesn't use very often. He's generally in a good mood. He's got an addition on his boots that makes little like rockets come out.
Nice. Vangie.
So Vangie is a Vesk. She has mostly turquoise scales on her face with patches around her whole body, really, but like patches of purple. So like there's some under her chin and like kind of almost starbursty patterns above her eyes. And she has gotten a few gear upgrades. She's carrying around a cryo tactical pike that she got off of a really menacing. What are they called? I know they look like minotaurs.
They're called Noir. Yeah.
Noir.
His name was Scophos.
Scophos, yes. So yeah, just really a giant pike that's got like a power pack on it that makes it chill cold, and then she also has a flamethrower with a Ifrit pinup boy on it. And she has just upgraded her armor. Whereas like her previous one was like golem plate, which is kind of like got a lot of like seams and things to make it fit someone of her build. This one actually looks like it is made for a Vesk, in that it is Vesk armor. And it's just like these giant hulking plates of like some kind of steel polymer thing that are just like all aligned at like her, go straight from the legs all the way up to her collarbone. Those somehow, doesn't actually seem to have a helmet, so that she can just smile with her sharp teeth. Oh, and quick question about gear. You said that the fusion it does an extra damage if it's 5 or higher. Is it higher than 5 or
5 or higher?
Perfect.
5 or higher. Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Amu.
Amu is a Rakrichi, which Rob has decided is a living coral being. So Amu will look more or less however they need to look at any given moment. Vaguely humanoid with vaguely humanoid expressions spread out through multiple species of coral that are all congealed or not as necessary.
Congealed. What a great personal descriptor. Not a word I was expecting to hear.
They are also in a massive snail shell type armor thing, living containment unit that has some recent upgrades, giving it a bit better of a resistance to damage. Looks shinier and fresh. Attached to it is a biolab. And that biolab's mostly part of the armor. A capture pole and an injector pistol.
Nice. Cool. Why don't we go to Quentin?
Why don't we go to Quentin? Okay, so would you like the purchase or the descriptor first?
Go for it, man.
All right. So Quentin wandered the bazaar and found a plasma rifle. A really, really huge plasma rifle, but somehow, because of its unique design, it's able to be completely subsumed into his being until he needs it, because Quentin is a brushed metal sphere about the size of a medicine ball that tends to hover in a hovery way. And his face, for lack of a better word, is just sort of an LED display, not literal LEDs, because it's, the year of. But he tends to have a glowing face on his side that works very similar to emojis. Right now it's red because he believes that if he ever does turn evil, no one will then have any hint as to when it happened. But right now it's
that is
just
how robots work. So
right. Glowing red eyes and a glowing red smile. And if bad things happen, he can actually unfold plasma rifles and knives and rotating knives, you see, and all sorts of manner of things. But right now, he's just sort of a sphere, smiling pleasantly, maybe even eerily, maybe even kind of creepily. But it's hard to say because, different creatures have different ideas of what's creepy.
So one of the funny things about Quentin's unique design is he is absolutely certain that he can anything he can carry, he thinks he can perfectly conceal on himself. For everyone else observing, he is a lot less perfect at that concealment than he thinks. But he doesn't have cameras to see it, so he thinks is like, yeah, no one knows it, but I've got a plasma rifle. Whereas he's a giant medicine ball with a plasma rifle sticking out through the middle of him. And he's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean, guys? And he like, no matter how he turns his body, he can't see it.
Need to put some ranks into sleight of hand there.
I have like 14.
Well, okay. If when you try, you might be able to help conceal it a bit, but it is a long arm, so those are tough to. It's a rifle full diameter.
You got that glamored upgrade.
Yep. Just whoosh, holographic display. Yeah, that's clearly what.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool.
If the gun barrel actually sticks out, it should be right at nose level, so that it looks like a nose.
There you go.
On his holographic face, and no one will ever think that gun barrel nose is in any way unusual or strange.
No one will knows.
Pew, pew, pew.
Skritic.
So Skritic is a Yosoki, a diminutive rat folk being. Although he has rounder features and a shorter muzzle that kind of makes him look more hamsterish than maybe a standard Yosoki. He's got gray fur, a lighter gray typically, but with spots of darker fur, including a dark gray patch around the right eye. He's currently wearing hide armor. It's what was it called? Where's that at?
Defrex hide.
Yeah, Defrex hide. So it's a very reptilian, spiky looking hide armor that has all sorts of little pouches and nooks that he keeps his accoutrements in, including a sling of a survival knife and a holster for a repeating pistol. He's grumpy looking guy is kind of looking over the weapons, but finding either not much better than what he already has or a little bit out of his price range. So he's kind of wandering over to the hypno or the hypo needles of thinking thinking about calling over Amu and seeing if he's getting any of those, being our closest thing to a medic here.
We already have some.
Oh, do you? How many did you get?
We have 3 brown hypopens.
3 brown?
3?
Hmm.
Or is it 1? There might just be 1. That's 1.
Just 1 brown?
One brown hypopen.
I might pick up a few more here. I feel like that could be handy. I'll get some of the black and the purple.
So this is from the vendor who Amu had spotted previously that has a variety of like a whole medical cabinet behind them and a bunch of injection weapons and things like that. And all of these nanite hypopens that you're looking through, they all come attached with like a laundry list of potential side effects after use, because you're basically just, injecting someone with like a EpiPen's worth of cleansing nanites. So, but I mean, they do the job. So they're a standard in the medical community. You don't normally buy them from a vendor in a junkyard, but cool. All right. And last but not least, Bob.
So Bob is your average human-looking android. He's about 6 feet tall, brown hair, probably brown eyes. He is wearing a S-Deck suit, which looks like maybe a flight suit, but it's blue, and so it looks like a handyman uniform. And for those who were wondering, no, there is no H on top of Bob's head. Bob is pretty plain. His big deal right now is trying to save money so he can pay for his creation and training as a pilot. So he's been trying to save up as much money as he can. While wandering through the bazaar, he noticed many guns and weapons that he would like to upgrade because he was a little disappointed in how his laser pistol has been operating. And he came across a couple of plasma rifles, and one of them he noticed was maybe a little worn, maybe a little used. Upon examination, he noticed that the serial numbers had been scratched off of that one. The vendor was more than happy to sell it to him for half price. But Bob, kind of in the position he is in a TV show that he knows is going to be in front of a lot of people and not wanting to commit a crime, especially potentially with a weapon that could be tracked down to another crime, didn't want to do that. And so with a heavy heart, he dived into his savings and paid full price for this plasma rifle, which he, a new one. So it's bright and shiny, and he is very happy to walk aboard the Squeaky Clean with it slung over his shoulder, and look how proud he is to have his first long arm weapon.
Awesome. Well, you have to spend credits to make credits, right?
Yes.
So
that is what they say.
You guys, after you pay, well, actually, I guess you'd already paid Baraka, so because he always demands payment up front. After you had retrieved the computer from the Curiosity, and you did your shopping in the bazaar, were you going to head back out to the Squeaky Clean?
I would say so. Unless somebody has anything else they want to do. We've pretty much left a wake of destruction, so we should get clear of Akaton as soon as possible.
Or at least Booster City, right?
At least.
Seems reasonable.
All right. Well, as you approach, it's getting colder, by the way. It's sunset now, so it's getting dark out, and the temperature drops precipitously on Akaton at night. So as you approach where the Squeaky Clean is parked, you note several people nearby complaining loudly to a Shobad guard, and everyone near where the Squeaky Clean is, they're all carrying flashlights or chemical lanterns, as it seems the power has gone out nearby. there was evidently a power converter blew and knocked out the power on some of the ships, including the Squeaky Clean.
Uh-oh.
The Shobad has 2 of his arms folded, another arm holding a Vesk Dashku glaive, and his 4th arm just points to a sign posted nearby on a nearby shipping container that says, Baracus takes no responsibility, with a little picture of Baracus shrugging all 4 of his arms.
Of course. Well, let's see if we can get this airborne.
It seems like you're not alone in this quandary, for what it's worth. So other people are doing the same thing and like rebooting their ships and all that.
What has happened here? I say to the guy standing there.
He impassively, actually you really don't know sure about genders. They impassively point at the sign.
Well, I don't think we're pointing blame. I think we're just trying to find out what happened.
There's no response, but you're able to gather from other people griping that, like I said, it seems like a power converter blew.
Okay. So we're going to have to reboot the ship?
Yeah, as a mechanic, you would know that. Yeah, you can reboot the ship. It can be manually rebooted.
I go into the big switch that I have to pump and prime multiple times to get it to reboot.
Okay. Yeah, it's a defense mechanism basically. When a ship gets basically EMP'd, it will shut itself down. Otherwise, all the circuits could be permanently damaged. So,
okay.
Yep.
And everything comes back online, or are there problems?
Yeah. So as you reboot the ship, the lights come on, the door power works. The little reboot thing has like a chemical battery that wasn't affected, and sure enough, after a moment, the little door to the cargo area opens, and you guys can enter, and the ship seems like it's powered on.
Hello, Grace.
Hello.
Looks like you had a shutdown.
Yeah, I'm okay. I don't remember anything for synchronizing about an hour. So that's a little disconcerting, but I suppose it happens.
Do you have any security guards in place that when you're shut down, people may or may not have entered the ship?
All the standard ones. All the doors should be locked and everything.
Okay. Let's do a quick sweep just to make sure that there's been no hull breaches or something while we were away.
Yeah, that video we just watched has me paranoid.
Oh, is that what that feeling is?
Yeah, I do not understand how you guys can sleep every night. I mean, I watch you, but still.
Necessity.
Anyway, you guys start looking around the ship to be sure there's no sign of intruders or anything like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Why don't you go ahead and each give me perception checks.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Am I good at those?
Nice.
Oh. Welcome to the 30 Club.
Yeah,
So,
seriously. Glad that some people can deliver on this.
Epic fail and a critical hit.
Yep. All right. So we've got some middling numbers, one really low number, and some very, very high ones. So Vangi, you don't notice anything wrong. It's exactly how you left it. Whatever. If anything, it's somehow even better. You've been missing it, and that paranoid sense dissipates because now you're safe home aboard the Squeaky Clean.
Yeah, I fall asleep in like a hammock.
Hecubino. So basically, it seems like Amu, Quentin, and Bob, you guys do a quick look through, and you can tell that Squeebo has been cleaning, but that's not abnormal. So he evidently did a fresh scrub down of the entire cargo bay while you guys have been gone.
Oh, well, that was nice.
Skritic and Hecubino, you stop to think about that for a moment, and you follow Squeebo for a bit, and Squeebo guides you to a normal stack of unsuspecting crates. They're not suspicious at all.
What is it,
Do
boy?
we have this many crates when we left?
If Herman had babies on this ship,
so it is definitely, as you realize, it's like that's not where these crates were. Also, this is Herman, the crate fiend, and like he's set up a little lair here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Sorry.
Outside just inside of, it seems that Squeebo seems to give Herman like a little radius around the lair that he doesn't mess with. Like he doesn't go into the lair and clean Herman's stuff. Much like he leaves a couple inches around you guys when you're sleeping, and he goes in and cleans your stuff. But he seems to give a little bit wider radius around Herman.
When he does what?
Goes in and cleans our stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
while Grace watches you sleep.
it's going to be a big yikes.
I always knew
The ship
that
is a
somebody was
nightmare.
watching me.
Anyway, you guys, I'm gonna say you're both there together at this
Sure.
point, and you notice that just at the edge of the lair there is a blood stain that you're pretty sure wasn't there before.
Do I know which one of these crates is Herman?
With your natural 20, yes, that one.
Okay.
That one's where Herman is hosted.
Okay. I will walk around, like I give that one a wide berth and go inspect the stain. And wave Skritic. Like I'll look at Skritic, point at the crate that has Herman in it, make a little like crabby pinchers, and then wave him over.
Yep, I skid around.
All right.
And
So,
so that was blood.
You can investigate a little bit without raising Herman's ire. And you see that it seems that Herman has pulled in into his little lair. He seems to be a collector of things, little odds and ends, things that have gone missing on the ship, and things you didn't even know were here to begin with. So he's got a little trash pile, and one new addition to that trash pile is a helmet that was definitely not here before. It looks like somewhere like a cross between a motorcycle helmet and like a special ops military helmet.
It's great. You seen a helmet like that before?
Have I?
I mean, they're you consider them like the this sort. You'd have to get a closer look and actually pull it out. But this sort of thing would be pretty commonplace amongst hired mercenaries or people like that.
Okay. Can you try and get it away from the pile so we can look at it? I think you're probably a little bit better at this.
Yeah, I'll try to quickly snatch it out.
Yeah. So using, survival. Why don't you go ahead and give me a survival check?
Excellent. 25?
Yeah, you realize that, to a certain extent, crabs have T-Rex vision. So if you're just really slow and steady about it, you'll be able to pull it out as opposed to really quick.
That's not even true. They just made that up. Okay.
But so what?
Their vision is based on movement.
Yeah, at this point, even the things that were theories in Jurassic Park, we're just in a completely different ball game.
They were pretty spot on about the birds thing, though. They called that fairly early.
Sure.
In any case, yeah, Skritic, you can safely extract the helmet. It looks like the helmet was cleaned by Squeebo and probably regurgitated back up before it was collected here by Herman.
I see.
Does the helmet have any sort of like recording device, or at least some sort of like ocular feed?
And nothing's in the helmet, right?
Nothing's in the helmet. Yep, just an empty helmet. No ocular device or anything like that. Okay. You do think that there might be some more stuff in this trash, but maybe now's not the right time to go digging in it.
Well, I'd hate for either Herman or Squeebo to get at it, so let's show this to everyone else and see what they think.
Sure.
So we'll leave Herman's nest and I'll call a team meeting.
All right. So the team meeting, the usual, I guess probably the best place for it is kind of like your mess hall area.
Yep. I'll wait for everybody to gather there. And I'll just have the helmet I'll just put it on the table.
Hey, cool helmet.
Yeah. I guess Herman got whoever was wearing this helmet.
Oh, yeah? How did he do that?
Well, presumably because whoever was wearing this helmet came into the ship and then got eaten by a crate fiend.
I was afraid of that.
Or Squeebo.
I was afraid of that.
So, do we think that someone caused that power outage to try to get us?
At the very least, they used it as an opportunity. I don't know, Skritic, is there anything else you can discern from the helmet or the bloodstain or anything? Oh, there's still a bloodstain up there. Also, Herman still has a pile of things, but we didn't want to mess with it. So, Amu, if you don't mind getting in there and seeing if there's anything else there.
Sure, we can do that.
You know that,
and maybe
that
see if you can identify what kind of being that blood would have came from.
Yeah.
All right.
Those stairs that lead up to like storage. It's the room under them. Herman's kind of made a little nest there.
Good for Herman.
Yeah, well, maybe let's prevent him from making multiple nests on the ship. Because anyway, yeah, go check and see if you can find anything else. Everybody else, this helmet's like pretty widely available, right? Like it doesn't have a giant crest on it that says like free captains or something.
No, it's in like red and black, which is the most commonly sold color combination.
And there's nobody's name taped to the side like Clint or Booker or Joe Bob.
Jimbo.
There might have been,
Ted.
but it looks like it got a thorough acidic cleaning, such that all that is left, it's not, you can recognize it, but like parts of it did get dissolved away because of because it got obviously eaten by Squeebo at some point.
Okay.
So could you use it?
Could I use it?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but it doesn't go with my outfit.
Yeah, it's not really like high quality gear. It's really more disturbing that someone was trying to get on the ship.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm going to have to see if I can figure out some way to
Yeah, does
rig up
Grace
an alarm.
have any like record or anything?
Nope. She just showed that she was down for an hour and that all the doors were locked and sealed to her, to her knowledge.
Huh.
Yeah. We're going to have to, again, I think we're all a little tense after that video we saw. So let's just check every system. Like, just, Skirty's got a good computer score, right?
Yeah.
Bob, get Skritic and or Quentin to help you double check all the systems. Vangie and I are going to do another visual around.
Yeah. Can you see maybe how far? I would assume that the person came in through the dock.
Cargo hold?
Yeah, the cargo hold. Could we see how far that person may have gotten in before Squeebo took care of him to see if there might be deep penetration into the ship or just, stuck his head in and that
Squeebo got
was the
him
end of
and
it.
then, well, so
But
there was
it looks like Squeebo
bloodstain.
cleaned up after himself, though. Or itself. I don't know what a Squeebo is.
So there was a blood stain in Herman's nest, which means at the very least the body got that far in.
Yeah, but Herman could have dragged it.
That's true, and Squeebo would have cleaned that up. So that does complicate things. Yeah, let's just everybody do their thing, and I'll get on the comms and update Amo on what we're doing.
Okay, come on, Skritic.
We should make sure that there hasn't been any sabotage and that no one is currently still on board the vessel.
Yes, which is why I need you all to check the systems, and we're going to do another visual check.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool. So, why don't Amu? Why don't you give me a medicine check from Quentin and Bob and Skritic? I'd like computers checks, and then Vangie and Hecubino. How about perception checks?
Pat at this. Nope. Still have no idea what is going on.
That's okay. You're not here to spot things.
Yeah, I'm here to
in
beat
case
anything
something
up
jumps
if
me.
we find something.
Yep.
All right.
It's like it made more sense for Skritic to do the visual, but I also want Skritic with those guys in case something jumps them.
Yep, nope, that's fair. I had thought that through, but I also trusted your planning.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with Hecubino and Vangie. You guys are able to do a circuit of the ship, and you check people's quarters, and you check the holovid recording room.
Yeah, the studio.
And the studio. And you check the engine, and you check. Everyone's already in the cockpit area, so you don't really need to check that. But
Sure.
there's
non-arthropod crates.
yeah. And you check all the extra storage containers, and they're still just filled with space suds. So it looks like whatever was here, it's not here anymore. And you don't pick up any particular trail or sign of its passage, but you do note that the passageways were recently cleaned by Squeebo as well.
Okay. Can I do like an inverted check? Like, can I tell what the most recently cleaned areas were? Like the most like the most polished, to see if basically if there's like a very clear trail that Squeebo did earlier, it might tell us where something got killed and Herdman dragged it away.
Sure. So as you start scanning around for that, it definitely appears that Squeebo started his cleaning in the main cargo bay.
Okay.
And that's where he did most of his cleaning.
Okay.
And then he seemed to maybe just give a bunch of other places a once over.
Okay.
You can tell that by the fumes
Sure. I'll hold a piece of paper, and if it starts curling up, I know that that's been recently treated with space suds.
Cool. Let's go to Amu. So Amu, you can determine very easily that this is human blood. Judging by its iron content, you're going to guess Hilki, meaning local Akaton human.
All right.
And then were you going to go into Herman's nest?
Sure. We can do that.
All right. So as you crawl in, Herman notices you and kind of scuttles closer, and he has a little laser drill that Bob was complaining about losing, and he taps it over to you as if it's a little welcome gift.
We'll give him a big thank you. Take it. Make sure that he realizes that we're there to be friendly and follow his lead mostly.
Sure. So there's the collection of stuff that Herman has collected. He definitely pays attention when you're digging through, if you are going to dig through it. And he seems kind of possessive of it, but he certainly doesn't mind your presence or your investigation.
Right.
If you go to take something, he might react. But
is there anything important in there?
Well, there's a lot of things in a little pile that was recently added that look like they're the remnants of. You've seen this once before, so it's a little gruesome, but it's what's left of a armed and armored person after Squeebo's done with them, and it's the things that don't dissolve. So there's some ammo cartridges and carabiners and plates of armor that aren't held together anymore because all the stitching and patchwork stuff has been dissolved.
And some fillings.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe an artificial hip.
Or an artificial hand.
We will actually take a picture of all of this to show, because nothing in there seems particularly important right now, at least at first glance. So we'll take a picture to see if anybody is looking for any of this, and to show exactly what Herman has currently collected.
Herman watches you go with intent, deep, soulful eyes.
Aww.
Yeah. So you can go back and start to, go meet up with the others. Team computers. So let's see here. We've got a couple pretty good rolls, and Skritic is also there helping. So, so as you go through the diagnostics, so there's a few things. Nothing. It doesn't look like anything. You check the major systems like your drift engine, stuff like that, power, life support. All of those seem to be working, and there's no obvious sign that oh yeah, someone hacked in and put a bomb here or anything like that. That being said, when you do your investigation, you do find a number of minor issues. Just like you didn't realize some of the code here was so fragile and buggy, and you kind of wonder who wrote it this way, and you have to edit it to do what you think it should have done in the first place. And there's just a few there's certain parts of the ship that are not running at peak efficiency, It also was exposed to a major power event, which can sometimes explain some of these things. And, it did get that hole drilled into it not too long ago by the Red Belter gang. So those could explain some of what's going on. Squeaky Clean might need a tune-up. Even Grace might need a tune-up.
So we can go in and fix this buggy code.
Yeah, it's not like any one thing that's like, oh, this is the. It's just like a few things that don't look great to you, so you can find them and fix them.
It's one of the stamps on when the files were changed last.
No,
on Critical Hit.
Well, I would imagine that it wouldn't have happened while the power was out. So probably just need to do some tune-ups here, Quentin. Oh, and Scritic.
Do it again.
Yeah, just a little few bugs here and there. We'll probably have to do some kind of an overhaul at some point to do some upgrades.
A major code overhaul is necessary.
Yeah. Look and see what version is Grace running on. Is she the most current version of the Grace?
2.4.7.
Oh, man.
The most current version is 4.9.
ME edition.
Yeah, you don't want to upgrade to the latest version. That one has some personality issues.
Yeah, and the U2 album you can't delete.
But
okay, that
Grace
was funny,
stays
Matthew.
Grace stays pretty good about regular updates. But every computer system that with sentient AI is fundamentally unique. There are patches that they can get, but there's also some coding that needs to go. You don't want to wipe away who Grace is and all of her memories.
Sure.
So that means it takes a little adaptation.
We'll need to make sure to back up her personality profile.
All right. So after you guys, do your various trips about the ship, Hecubino and Vangi are back. Amu's back. You guys are done doing the diagnostics, so you guys can reconvene.
Okay. Okay. Well, we didn't find anything else except we're pretty sure that when all the action that got us this busted up helmet went down, it all happened in the hold. So they didn't get too far past the dock before Herman got a hold of them.
Oh, well, that's good. We didn't find anything, that just jumped out of us. A lot of tweaks here and there that could improve efficiency, but for the most part, I'm guessing that they didn't install anything when the power was out.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's good to hear.
We found stuff in Herman's nest. Bob, I believe you were looking for this?
Oh, my laser drill.
And here is a picture of everything else that is in there. We were reluctant to take anything as Herman was allowing us to look through it, but reluctant.
I'll look at it. I was like, that's okay. I like my cool colored gel pens better.
All right.
But there is some evidence of some corroborating evidence, like armor plates or like a ball joint or something.
Yes.
Well, that's real messed up.
Yeah. Well, it's
Maybe
good
we could
to
set
know.
up some kind of surveillance thing that's on a separate power in case this happens again.
Yeah, I think so. And then also, whenever we close the doors, I think we should put a hair, out of place, in between the door and the frame of the ship. And that way, if anyone does come in, that when we come back, the hair will be gone, and we'll know that someone has been in the ship.
Yeah, but wouldn't Squeebo just vacuum it up?
Not if it's on the outside.
Yeah, if it's on the outside, it might work. We are looking at an issue, I think, that our analog security system is a little bit too good.
Yeah.
Right? We can't actually even tell what happened. At least not exactly. So...
Oh, a native human was what was eaten, what
Okay.
invaded.
That's
I mean, it could just be
comforting.
one of the red belters trying to get revenge.
Yeah, get some payback. Then again, if I was going to be the sort of paranoia-inducing shadow hand, I might hire a local merc to do something rather than send someone in from outside. So
That is also possible.
unfortunately, yeah, it doesn't tell us much. But it looks like everything's where it should be, so we should at least be able to take off. We got to get this footage to Rain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to pick at her for sending us on this job when the last people she sent on this job got murdered.
Where are
Wow.
we going to go? And I'll start prepping the ship.
Let's just put her in orbit for now. That at least will be a little bit harder for anybody to sneak in.
Okay.
Are we safe to leave atmosphere with the damage to the hull?
Believe that was repaired, wasn't it, while we were away?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So Bob will wander off to the cockpit and start flipping switches and dials and telling Grace we're going to go up into orbit, and everyone else can continue to talk while I finish those checks and lift us off.
Quentin will see about the possibility of setting up a secondary security system with its own power.
Sure. So one issue is its own power is a tough thing. Like its own power grid that's resistant to an electromagnetic pulse. Like that's a much harder ask.
Steam power, clearly. We'll have to build a boiler.
Or just put it in a cage.
There are certainly
would
some
put a machine in a
chemical things
cage?
you can do, but you need it to be like off most of the time until it turns on. Yeah, you can start exploring some options.
Some chemical battery options.
Mhm.
Perhaps a potato.
So
Can the suds packets be used for power supply?
oh god. Ugh.
An interesting
Only if you're
question.
Squeebo.
Could Squeebo
Be
Be
used as a
mounted.
power supply?
with security cameras powered from its internal systems?
Do you want to try to do that mounting work?
I would like to analyze Squeebo to see if that is even possible.
Well, so Squeebo does have that disc. Keep in mind, there's like the disc and then there's the gelatinous form all around it, the like dome-like shape. But when you first met Squeebo, you saw the disc roll out first. So there is something metal that he
In
kind
there.
of like rides around on. And so theoretically, yes.
It's probably worth analyzing to see if the shock did anything to Squeebo.
And whether the Squeebo systems actually record what it sees. Going to have to do the Vulcan mind probe.
Just lay your hand like right on
Like just a little
Squeebo's
claw.
face.
Just like in what's the one with the lava rock monster in the original series?
Right. With
All right.
The Horta is
Yeah,
what
that's the
you're thinking
Horta.
of.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
My problem is that Squeebo is USB-C, and I don't have any comparable ports, so
And Squeebo
I'm going
probably
to need
freaks.
an adapter.
Squeebo probably freaks out when you point your
That
nose at
sounds
him.
dirty.
Hey, don't put your biological hang-ups on these guys, all right? They're machines. They're past this.
Squeebo would be like partially organic.
Yeah.
And so is Quentin, for that matter.
Huh?
So is Bob.
That's true. There's something organic in there. We don't know what it might be a spleen.
It's a beating human heart. That's how all androids work. Everything else is computers and parts and mechanics, except there is a human beating heart inside every machine.
Yeah.
one thing that we know we could replace with machinery now. But yes.
It's
why I said
actually the heart of the
Sweet.
soul.
Yes, that's where the soul lives.
Actually, strangely enough, the soul lives in the Isles of Langerhans, but nonetheless, going to try and
I thought
analyze
the soul was in
Squeebo.
Korea.
Oh,
So Squeebo looks at you and goes, Squeebo, clean? Seems perplexed, as if it's unsure what you want.
I'm going to attempt to boot it back to DOS and reset its BIOS.
Whoa. You reach out
No,
to touch
I want to do it remotely.
There's no... Squeebo does not appear to have a network connection.
He doesn't have Bluetooth?
No.
He doesn't have any teeth.
That's old school.
Well, then how does he eat people? See how your story's full of holes, Rob?
A sucking motion.
It's a pseudopod.
Squeebo. Deactivate.
Squeebo, clean?
Squeebo. Pause.
So you can run through this, and it turns out that Squeebo doesn't really react to commands except to clean.
Let's see.
Fantastic.
You are able to like get him to follow you around and stuff like that. He looks at you excitedly until he realizes there's nothing to do.
How unsafe do you think it would be to actually touch Squeebo?
Are you asking any of us?
I'm asking out of character, as I don't know that anyone else is actually present where we are.
Well, then,
Oh, okay.
who can say? If you're out of character, they're not there. Only you get to decide your fate.
All right. I'm going to use my least necessary limb.
That won't come back to haunt you now that you've told the GM.
It's all right. It's Kevin. He won't hurt me.
No, not the waffle maker.
What are we going to do on Sundays?
I know. It's the
Fine, I'll
best
use-
part of waking up.
I'll use the Keurig. It's terrible for the environment anyway. And I will attempt to access Squeebo manually.
So you reach out, Squeebo stares at you with his giant googly eyes and like smiles, and then the smile looks like frozen, and then the smile looks really scary, even though you're pretty sure his expression just has not changed at all. You're just getting closer and closer to reaching out to him. And are you touching the ooze dome of like green gel that is Squeebo's main body, where his like eyes are, or the thin metal disc towards the floor?
I think I'm going to attempt to touch the disc because, as we've noted, highly acidic slorg in the squeaky clean suds, if you will. So yeah, I'm going to attempt to not die while accessing the disc.
So you touch the disc, and Squeebo's eyes take on a murderous rage, and you feel like you've made a horrible mistake. What do you do?
Fire plasma rifles.
oh no.
No.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
You're
I'm
killing our
attempting to
sweet- you're-
deactivate this creature.
Why are you
We
gonna
know
kill
that
it?
it's capable of murder. We know that
Right.
one of its kind went insane and killed an entire colony.
Yeah, and we were
All right,
also
I'm taking
told to
attack
maybe just leave it alone, considering that we don't know how powerful it is.
Make an attack roll.
When have we ever left anything alone?
Tuberville.
And look how. Hang on, I'm checking something.
As far as anyone knows, that everything turned out fine there.
Yep. Ranged
Exactly.
attack doesn't change because it's a long weapon, correct?
That's correct.
I believe
Oh.
that's a plus 9.
Oh, right.
Does this mean Squeebo's going to get an opportunity attack?
Also, if you're right next to Squeebo, can you use a ranged weapon?
Oh, yeah.
That's what Rob's saying.
Oh,
you
okay.
can use a ranged weapon, but presumably he might get an opportunity attack. But, you know, who knows if Squeebo counts as armed?
Right. Who knows if Squeebo can count? 28. This is the
So you
dumbest thing I've
blast
ever
Squeebo
done.
with your new plasma rifle, and Squeebo harmlessly absorbs it into his central body, a pseudopod snaps out, and for a moment, you feel you've made a terrible mistake. Instead, it just grabs another pouch of space suds from a nearby container and says "Squeebo clean," and basically stares you down and then runs away.
Bob comes on the intercom. We've got a report of weapons fire in the ship. Is everything okay?
Vangie is running to wherever the weapons thing is.
Everything is fine.
What happened?
What? Do you not know how to use that thing? Because if you don't know how to use that thing, I can train you.
I say Amu's also running there because someone may be hurt.
Everything is fine.
Everything's fine. Just a small reactor leak. How are you?
My recommendation would be not to interact with the Squeebo unit at this time.
What did you do?
What did you do?
Amu, we are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams. On occasion, our impulses are wrong. Again, avoid the Squeebo unit at this time.
What did you do to the Squeebo? He is our friend.
He is also immune to plasma fire.
Well, that's good to know.
Very useful. It does not seem to be possible to access any records that he may or may not have. He, it, they.
Okay.
Why would we need to access Squeebo's records?
I was attempting to see if Squeebo might have had any record of who or what entered the ship during our absence. It was an unsuccessful attempt.
We already told you this.
Don't argue with me.
It seems reasonably to argue with since you just fired a plasma rifle at our cleaning system that is also extremely dangerous. But anyways, let's all chill out. We're all on the same team. I understand it's a little intense.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm perfectly
No shooting at our pets for now.
I'll call Vangie's communicator.
Yep.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, Quentin shot Squeebo? Squeebo's immune to it, so I guess that's okay. But yeah, it's a little tense.
Oh, okay. Well, do I need to come over there?
We good here?
We are angry.
Yep.
There's no reason for anger. It was a poor decision.
Who tried to shoot our friend?
All right. I'll head over.
Okay, yep.
I didn't try. I succeeded. And again, he is immune.
Hecubino will come in.
You shot our friend. Sorry.
Like
again,
he's got like
immune.
Shaving cream on like half of his head.
Sorry, man.
And is wearing a towel. Hey guys, what's going on?
Experimentation.
Quentin shot Squeebo.
Experimentation sometimes requires additional information.
Yeah, usually you want to experiment with your new plasma rifle at a firing range, not on the ship.
Okay. Let's do this. Quentin, walk me through it. What were you trying to do and what happened?
I was attempting to access the Squeebo's base unit to see if there was any recording of who or what entered the ship.
Okay.
When attempting to do so, Squeebo immediately responded with what seemed to be, perhaps I believe the phrase would be murderous intent. I fired. Squeebo absorbed the shot and left.
Okay. And that's all that happened. Nothing else happened.
I believe that the Squeebo unit is more dangerous than we had known.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah. I mean, I could think it's extremely dangerous, but that's why I try not to piss it off.
How did it react? Does it seem angry?
Very much so.
Okay.
You shot him.
Yeah, we've established that, Amu. It's okay. Put it down in your logs. Squeebo feels anger. That's probably important. Also, that it can absorb plasma bolts, which is, I would say, the biggest thing we learned here.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Other than important lessons about gun safety. So, I would say this. And like, Hecubino will like take out his communicator and like set it on the table so that like He's basically recording himself saying this. I would say this. Let's establish a policy where we do not fire on any other members of the crew. And for now, we will extend that to Hecubino, or to Hecubino, that's me, to Herman and Squeebo. And I suppose Grace's core. This is a brand new established rule. So no lizard brain demerits are handed out. And we'll go on from here. So is that okay with everyone?
Operating protocols updated.
Okay.
We can accept this.
I'll like just real quickly like click, like type out a little report and send it to Bob and Skritic. I'll actually just send a copy to everybody.
Let's not shoot each other.
Yes, let's not shoot each other. And basically in like very clinical language, like this is what happened. And I, trying to make it very neutral, like, Quentin tried to access Squeebo. Squeebo seemed angry. Quentin's call was to defend himself. Like, fortunately, nothing happened. And here's the new rules. All right.
Good rule, boss, says Bob over the intercom.
Yep.
You hear an acknowledgement of a delivery come in from a nearby air duct or Jeffrey's tube, whatever equivalent would be.
Somewhere in the bowels of the ship. Bloop, bloop.
I'm okay with Skritic leaving me on red.
Yes.
I apologize if my actions upset you. It was not my intention. I was simply attempting to access for security purposes and acted rashly. I am hoping that you can forgive me for my actions.
We can forgive you this time.
Agreed. Thank you.
And with that, Bob comes over the intercom and says, co-captains, we are now in orbit, and I'm initiating artificial gravity. That is where we're going to wrap up this week with the Squeaky Clean, now safely in orbit. We say that in quotes, safely in orbit. And we will be back next week. I think Kevin may have something special planned on the next episode of Critical Hit, but you're going to have to wait and tune in next week to find out, unless, of course, you're a patron, in which case you get to hear the episode a week ahead of everyone else. So another reason to become a patron over at patreon.com/majorspoilers. More information over there. Thank you so much for your support. And for patrons and non-patrons alike, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2021 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.